Eyal Dyment.
All right. So hi, everyone. I'm Eyal Dyment. I'm the VP Product for JFrog Security. And while Asaf talked to you about all the different threats that are out there, I want to present to you some of the solutions that we've been working on for the past year or so. Now, I have a lot of content, a lot of live demos, so bear with me, and let's get started. So as we look at the release lifecycle, the supply chain begins when anything tries to enter it and ends all the way to production. And if you cannot control it completely across the entire lifecycle, you cannot really secure it completely. So let's start off with shifting all the way to the left and talking about the QA challenge that Yoav talked about earlier. So what is the QA challenge all about? The QA challenge is all about the fact that open source packages, in terms of new packages that get introduced into the ecosystem on a monthly basis, is exploding. And if you just look at the number of packages on a monthly basis, that might look like a big number, but if you look at the number of versions, it's much more than that. So how can you gain control into what comes into your organization? What's the main question that everybody here is asking themselves? Is this package safe to use? Is it a malicious package? Maybe it's a vulnerable package that has a high or critical CV within it. Maybe it has some license restrictions that we should care about. Or maybe it's an unmaintained package that poses some operational risk to our releases. And the current approach that all of us here in this room take on a regular basis is that we detect and remediate across the lifecycle. But the concept behind it, or the assumption, is that it's already within the organization, and we just have to detect it as much as possible and to remediate it. Now that's critical, and we should continue doing so. But a great man once said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So with that, a couple of months ago, we've announced JFrog Curation. So what is JFrog Curation? It's essentially a prevention mechanism at the gate, built and integrated together with Artifactory remote repositories. And as packages are being downloaded or trying to be downloaded into the organization, it checks those packages versus different policies that I'll show you in a couple of minutes, and deems them whether or not are they malicious, should they be handled by a person to be waived, or are they actually okay and they can enter the organization as they follow the restrictions based on our decisions. JFrog Curation, what are the benefits? So the number one benefit is a centralized visibility and control over all the downloads into your organization, all in one place. Second, it's about a frictionless package consumption experience for developers. They already use JFrog Artifactory remote repositories implicitly, and they continue to do so without any change for them. Third, it's about automation of curation policies. You can set up policies based on your definitions, and it's all being done automatically. And of course, it improves the overall DevSecOps experience and allows you to realize on cost savings by being more efficient by not just detecting and remediating, but also just preventing them from entering your organization at the first place. So JFrog Curation is available now. It supports NPM, Docker, Python, and Maven. We have a lot more package managers support coming next. It's supported both in SaaS and self-hosted, and it supports policies for malicious packages, license clearance, operational risk, and vulnerable packages. But question is that enough? Or how can your developers or the AppSec engineers or the DevOps engineers get control? So we have this mechanism at the gate is preventing all of it from coming in, but what can they do about it? How can they learn about these packages? What packages can they use, and so on? So when we thought about building this solution in-house, we actually realized that we already have this internally. The backbone of JFrog Security is our own catalog. It has a lot of different dimensions of data about these packages. We are the binary company. we have all this information about these packages. So it's JFrog augmented CV information, it's dependencies, OpenSSF scorecards, and trust me, a lot more information. And so we figured why don't we just take this and externalize it and give it out to you guys as an application. And with that, I'm happy to announce, JFrog Catalog. JFrog Catalog will be available to all customers of JFrog using our security offering. So what is JFrog Catalog about? It's essentially the Google search for open source packages. It's provided to you in the form of an application or a web application, and also to be able to do automation around it using GraphQL. It's all about the data. That's the secret sauce, and how it's managed and interconnected across the different applications and the solutions that we have. And coming soon, it will also enable you to have a private catalog and enable you to set up your own custom properties and data on top of that. JFrog Catalog supports these package managers, again, NPM, Docker, Python, and Maven, and more support coming up. Again, it's supported both in a web application and via GraphQL support. So with that, I want to show you a quick demo. Right, so I'm right now the developer, and I have a sample project here that I'm already using, and I want to use a new dependency. And that specific dependency for us will be EJS package. And I want to use the latest version. So what I'll do now is I'll go into the terminal and I'll hit npm install. What you can see, I get a 403 error and tells me that I'm being blocked by downloading this specific package. So still, as a developer, what can I do about it and find out what's wrong or what's preventing me from doing so? We built into our CLI tooling curation audit action. That, if I do a quick, try to do that, and tells me exactly what's going on. The EJS package 319 is being blocked. And the reason for that is because it has a CV with a CVSS score above 9. It doesn't have a fix, so I'm being blocked. So it's clear to me as a developer what's the reason. And now maybe I want to ask for a waiver. I'm going to reach out to my curation administrator, and I'm going to ask them to give me a waiver or to give me a solution to whatever it is I need to do. So now I'll switch gears and I'll be the curation administrator. So if I'm going into our platform, you have a new on the side, you see the curation. We have a quick dashboard. I won't go over that. We have a lot more in this, and I welcome you to the booth later on. But if I go into curation and I'll go into the audit, here I see the centralized visibility across all the different downloads coming into the system. And with the latest one, I can see that the information is that this specific policy has blocked it because there's no because of a high CVSS score and there's no fix. So I want to do some research about this package right now, and I want to figure out what can be done. So I'm going to use catalog. I'm going to go into our package catalog product, and I'll search for EJS. And this is the JFrog catalog. So there's a lot of information here about this specific package, different versioning, the dependencies, OpenSSF score, and so on. But right now, I want to allow that developer, myself, to do whatever is needed to be done. So I'll go into that vulnerabilities, and I can see I'm on the latest version. It has a 9.8 CVSS score, but if I deep dive into it, I can see that the JFrog research team has went in and done the research, and they actually the JFrog severity is low. It's not an issue. And the reason for that is because to make it so the attacker can exploit it, it's a very specific situation. And so I'm going to give them a waiver. So I'll go back to the curation policy management. And here I have all the different policies that can be set up with different policy rules. I will search for that specific policy. And when I edit it, when I edit it, I can set up a policy. So I'll go into the waiver section, which is optional, and I can add a package waiver. I'll hit npm, I'll click next, I'll choose EJS, and I'm gonna give a waiver to that specific version so I can use it. I'm gonna hit next. The reason for this is it's a swamp-up demo, so that's the justification right now. And I'm gonna hit save. I'm the administrator. I tell my developer, you can go ahead and use it, right? So I'll go back into that specific project, and I'm gonna show you how it works. So I'm gonna hit install. I have a, sorry about that. Done. So that developer can use it and can move on. Let's go back to the slides. All right. So we spoke about the QA challenge. Let's shift a bit to the right into the creation challenge. That's where your developers are writing their source code, the actual first-party code, and integrating with third-party packages. And we've been talking to you about binary security for a long while and how critical it is to secure your applications. Now, we know there's gaps when it's related to code that have to do with operational efficiency because you want to shift left and enable your developers to detect issues earlier. But there's another gap that has to do with first-party vulnerabilities in your own proprietary source code. So what do developers need when it has to do with zero-day vulnerabilities? Developers need a fast and efficient and accurate way to find these vulnerabilities. They want to be able to efficiently find them and fix them and learn from their mistakes. We want to build a product that provides a seamless shift-left capability or functionality for developers within the IDEs where they already live. And we want to provide a centralized visibility and governance functionality within the JFrog platform. And with that, I'm happy to announce JFrog SAST. JFrog SAST supports Python, TypeScript, JavaScript, Java. It will support C# and Go going forward. And it is supported across all of our tools, our IDE plugins, our CLI tooling, and FrogBot, which is our Git integration bot. And with that, I want to show you another demo. It's not the last one, I promise. All right. So I have a quick project here, and it's an actual project by one of our development teams. And I want to scan it for results. So what I have here, I have the JFrog plugin, and I can scan it for results. So what you see here is happening. This is running in real-time analysis on the developer machine. No code is being uploaded into the cloud. And you can see that I find results. I got some results. So I have a high severity, one high severity vulnerability, and a couple of medium ones. So let's take care of the high severity vulnerability first for this demo. This specific vulnerability is a path traversal vulnerability, which allows the attacker to gain access to the file system in a way or in a manner which was unintended by the developers. So on the right-hand side, you have our plugin, and the first thing that we provide to the developers is an experience that gives them proof and understanding is what is happening and where is this coming from. So we have a full data flow analysis from where the attacker is entering the application or potentially entering the application via user input access, all the way across the different functions, all the way to where the specific exploit might happen by the attacker. So myself as a developer, what can I do about it? There's two main things I can do about it. The recommended one is to patch the code. And in some cases, I want to suppress the finding if I have an external solution like a firewall or something like that for that specific vulnerability. This specific case, I want to patch the code. The issue that we have with this is that we need to sanitize the path. So we have a clear remediation steps or mitigation steps for the developer. First of all, we need to set up this function, and then we need to sanitize the path. So ahead of time, I have this function here in the code already, and I'm gonna fix the code right now. So I'm gonna call the sanitize path function. Hit save, and I'll run the analysis again. That's it. You can see that the issue was remediated or fixed. There's no high vulnerability anymore in the scanning results. We're not going to fix the other ones right now, but that's for SAST. One more thing about SAST is that we have support for that in addition to that with Frogbot. So you can see one example for this here with the pull request scanning, where you see all the different results that we have for what we have with SCA, along with as you can see, static SAST vulnerabilities that are detected within the pull request, all within Frogbot. So that can be leveraged by you and your developers in case you do not want to use the IDE plugins and you want to do it all in a centralized manner on top of your Git repositories. So that's JFrog SAST. Slides, please. All right. So how can you get access to SAST? So to do so, let's a quick reminder. As of last year, towards the end of last year, before that, we had the essential X-ray package with our SCA capabilities, malicious package detection, and more. And last October, we've launched our advanced security package that supports, on top of SCA, contextual analysis and exposure detection, like secret detection. I'm happy to update that SAST is now part of the advanced security package. And our advanced security is an end-to-end application security testing solution, AST, covering you from source code analysis to binary, from first-party vulnerabilities to third-party vulnerabilities and exposures. So everybody who has advanced security now has it. All right, so going back to the beginning, there's one more thing I want to share with you. And that's right for the entire portfolio of our solutions. This is relevant for any customer that's working with us with JFrog Security. One of the key aspects, one of the key feedbacks that we've been receiving from you over the past couple of years is that we have while we have a lot of great value when it comes to security value within our platform, we lack a high level of visibility into insights into what's going on with our platform from a security posture perspective. How are my artifacts doing? How are builds doing? Release bundles and so on. So with that, I'm happy to introduce Security Insights. Security Insights is a high-level overview of, will be supported for artifacts, builds, release bundles, and we will add support for that for repositories and JFrog projects in the upcoming months. And I want to show you another demo. Testing myself today. So far, so good. All right. So I'm hoping that most of you, if not all, are familiar with this screen within Artifactory. And if you go to the specific Docker image that we have set up here, and you go into the X-ray tab, you see a live security insight being loaded up, and you have a high-level overview of what's going on within your artifact. You see how many policy violations are captured within it, how many malicious packages are there, security issues, and so on. Now, this is the view that we have from Artifactory, but it's a cross-platform solution. So say I'm the security practitioner and I want to go into X-ray, and I want to get more information and I want to start deep diving into that. So I can go into X-ray, I have a shortcut here, and I'll go into Overview, and we have a better view of a high-level view of what's going on with that specific artifact. You see the information about it, it's the ICA status, see it has a malicious package, we see how many vulnerabilities are detected, and specifically how many of those are applicable. And I can get going and deep dive in and zoom in, zoom out as much as I wish. So for example, I'll get deep dive to the applicable ones, and we detect all the applicable CVEs that I need to take care of. So that's Security Insights. Let's go back to the slides. All right, so to conclude, JFrog Security, our offering has been centered around the center of gravity with binaries. But we are going where the attackers are going. And for that, today, as promised, we've launched JFrog Curation, JFrog Catalog, JFrog SAST, and JFrog Security Insights to provide you with an end-to-end solution all the way to the left with creation, and you see that missing gap there, as you have mentioned. Stay tuned for that later on. Thank you. Appreciate your time.